we had the announcement press conference for UFC 305, Dricus du Plessis versus Israel Adesanya. And if you're looking for fireworks and high drama, this wasn't the press conference for you. Both men were pretty chill for the most part, which is kind of what I was expecting because du Plessis doesn't seem to go out of his way to create drama. He is just there to go through the motions, but he will respond with drama if he wants. And Israel Adesanya, who usually cannot stop talking, was pretty mild, and at least by his standards, but that is kind of what we have come to expect. Since getting embarrassed by Sean Strickland, Adesanya's attitude has changed drastically. Now, he was still acting like he was the champion, saying things like, yeah, it's so hard eventually, you get tired defending the belt. I think he used the excuse that he was bored, which is what he said when he was fighting Marvin Vettori and he lost to Jan Blachowicz. And some of the media, and this is to be expected because, biased local media, they were acting like Adesanya was still on top, like he was the champion. It was kind of hilarious in that sense, but again, what more do you expect from biased media? Du Plessis, like Adesanya, was pretty short and sweet with his answers. The only time where there was any real tension was when Adesanya said, I wasn't happy with what du Plessis said about discrediting the Three Kings. Trying to make du Plessis feel like an outsider and everything. And, the way he just embarrassed himself after du Plessis beat Robert Whittaker, going back to all that stuff, which I think a lot of fans were hoping for. And then du Plessis said, look, I didn't discredit anybody, I just stated facts. I live in South Africa, that's where my address is, that's where I reside, and you don't. You don't reside in Nigeria, and that's all I said. Then Adesanya said, look, I don't care where you're from, I'm just coming for your head. Du Plessis responded in a pretty calm way again, given what Adesanya has said about him, saying, yeah, I'm coming into the cage to do damage. End of story. So both men seem to understand that they are serious. And what I also found interesting was the face-off, because well after this guy who was hosting the press conference, and I don't know who he is, was motioning to them and tapping them both on the shoulder saying, hey, can you guys face the media? They were still staring at each other. They both turned to the media, but they kept their heads fixated on each other. After turning their bodies to the media, Dricus turned to Adesanya again and said, okay, we're going to continue this face-off. Adesanya was trying to look very, very serious, and he said a few things to him, which didn't faze Dricus one bit. He was very stone-faced the whole time. And Adesanya, for whatever it's worth, he did look away first. He was the one who broke the stare down. Now, that may not mean anything because Adesanya is very experienced at this top level, but given the fact that he's a very emotional guy and he is going to have to get over the fact that he is fighting a guy who he hates, who he wanted to embarrass, who he wanted to humiliate, him and his coach, and now they are the ones who got embarrassed by Sean Strickland, spanked and embarrassed for 5 rounds, as well as embarrassed at multiple press conferences, and Dricus du Plessis beat that guy, so they have to challenge him. I'm sure Adesanya relishes the challenge because, again, he's a very competitive guy. But nonetheless, given that this guy has one of the most fragile egos in the world, it would not shock me one bit if deep down he is seething. Now, that may work to his advantage because Adesanya, who's been around for a long time, who's been very successful, who's made lots of money, he may do better if he's fighting somebody who he doesn't like, who he has a vendetta against. And Dricus is that guy for him. So it may work to his advantage. Dricus, who I felt before this fight was already going to win it, and I've been saying that since he beat Robert Whittaker, but I did not expect Sean Strickland to beat Adesanya, but I'm even more confident now. But I already felt he would win after he beat Whittaker and before Adesanya got embarrassed by Sean Strickland. So Dricus, he seems to have the right mindset for this fight, and I felt that way after he beat Robert Whittaker, was very humble afterwards, and Adesanya was just saying all kinds of horrible things to him. I think Dricus is going to turn up with the right kind of mindset. Again, he did look a bit agitated at the press conference, but I think come fight night he's going to be okay. Adesanya, there's questions there. I do expect him to ultimately turn up okay, but the fact is he is going to have to get over that Sean Strickland beating, embarrassment, spanking, one-sided whooping, and I don't know if he's going to be able to, because when you have the ego and the mindset of Israel Adesanya where you have to always talk about yourself as if you are the man, like you cannot open your mouth and talk about yourself without pumping your ego through the roof. Like that's how egotistical and arrogant Israel Adesanya is. And you lose that against Sean Strickland, a guy who embarrassed you for multiple years at multiple press conferences before embarrassing you in the cage. That has got to take some toll on him mentally, and you can have all of the biased media acting like you're still the champion, acting like you're still the man, but deep down, Adesanya and his team know the truth. They know they got embarrassed. They know they were humiliated. And Adesanya, I'm going to have to keep saying this because there's always people who want to deny it. He doesn't deserve this title shot. It's one of the most undeserved title shots in years. And yeah, that's all there is to it. So I'm not sure how Adesanya is going to handle it. My instinct is that he's going to be okay come fight night, but we don't know. We don't know for certain. So we'll have to wait and see. I'm still picking Dricus du Plessis to win. And, you know, talking about Adesanya's ego and the mindset of a lot of his fans, the aftermath of Alex Pereira knocking out Yuri Prochazka again has been insane. And I'm going to have to do a video on that as well. But I had to do one on this. More videos coming soon. Let me know what you guys thought down below of the press conference and who do you think has the edge come fight night. Like the video and subscribe to the channel for more. Catch you later.